Welcome to Let's Talk Aging. I'm Gwyneth Johnson with Second Wind Dreams. We are an organization dedicated to changing the perception of aging. And through this interview series, we are focused on individuals and organizations who are focused on that very same thing. Today, we are lucky enough to have with us PK Beville, our founder, CEO Emeritus, and author of the Virtual Dementia Tour. It is also Second Wind Dreams Month and our 25th anniversary year. So PK, welcome. It is such a pleasure to have you with us.
Oh, thanks, Gwyneth.
So since it is Second Wind Dreams Month, I wanted to start out asking you how this celebration began.
Well, I think the best way to explain a celebration like this is to say that the dreams happen all over the place, not just in our office or anything. They actually happen all over the place. And what better way to celebrate what's happening all over the place than to have a whole month dedicated to the dreams that come true and the Virtual Dementia Tour that happens. It used to be Second Wind Dreams Day that we used to have, but now this year, since it's our 25th anniversary, we decided to make a whole month out of it. And we hope that you're watching some of the dreams that have come true and are coming true this month. But I think it boils down to the recognition of this incredible organization and the great things that it's doing.
Absolutely. I know there's lots of partners that we work with now and that you have always worked with. What types of partners do you typically work with for this celebration?
Well, it runs the gambit. Most of them are people who are members of our organization who make dreams come true. Some of the sponsors are people who will sponsor the Virtual Dementia Tour somewhere during the month and have that happening. Mainly, the sponsors are surrounding our mission. One of our longtime sponsors is the Caesars Foundation. And during this month, they too make dreams come true and continue to provide assistance to those that are living in long-term care. So the sponsors kind of run the gambit. We have small sponsors, and then we have some of our larger sponsors who we can count on. We're very indebted to, I should say.
Absolutely. I know that we'll have an interview this month with Dustin from the public library system.
Yes.
Would you talk a little bit about how that partnership came about?
Well, as with most of the things at Second Wind Dreams, miracles happen all the time. And that was another one of those miracles. And one of our colleagues had wanted to get the libraries involved with us as a way of allowing us to do the Virtual Dementia Tour in the libraries. And during National Second Wind Dreams Day a few years ago, Dustin, who is head of the public library system here in Georgia, Dustin gave us the opportunity to provide the VDT all over Metro Atlanta on International Second Wind Dreams Day. And of course, we're thankful that they fell in love with us and we fell in love with them. And now they have our family edition of the VDT in their libraries for families who are living with someone with dementia to check out and use in their own home, and then bring back, just as you would a library book. Lots of great things are going on with the library system that we're really proud of.
Excellent. And we're looking forward to the interview with him. Melora, our clinical manager for the VDT, is interviewing him.
Excellent.
What programs do we focus on during Second Wind Dreams Month and previously day?
Really, we focus on, when it was Second Wind Dreams Day, it was specifically the Virtual Dementia Tour and making dreams come true. So what happened was we would have dream members who would sign up in advance and to make a dream come true, and we would support them in any way that they needed. And most of them would have a party on Second Wind Dreams Day. Some of the most beautiful cakes were made for Second Wind Dreams Day, and the dreams that came true were fantastic. At the same time, we also had the Virtual Dementia Tour happening all over the United States on that day, so that we were getting feedback from everywhere about the impact of the Virtual Dementia Tour and how it changed lives. Now that we're doing a month, we have the wonderful opportunity to spread it out a bit, give people more opportunity to make some more dreams come true, and also to conduct the Virtual Dementia Tour. In fact, the Virtual Dementia Tour will be conducted here at the home office tomorrow and again on Saturday. And then there are several others that are going on around the United States, England, Canada, and Italy.
Fantastic. That's some exciting stuff.
Yeah.
How do all of these programs and partners change the perception of aging?
Well, when we established the tagline, changing the perception of aging, it's been an issue for me because we changed the perception of aging in a positive way. So my brain kind of goes to, so what perception are you trying to change? And it doesn't answer that question. So let me expound for just a moment on where the collective brain was on changing the perception of aging. I have been in situations in long-term care, especially, that were horrendous. And I would love to sit here and support some of the things that I've seen in a more positive way, but I honestly can't do that. In all fairness to the elders that we serve and the elders that are living in some of those situations, I have to be fair and say the perception that's being given off of how they're to be cared for is negative, abysmal, borderline, sometimes abusive. Now, over the years, since 1983, when I began serving this population, that perception is changing. It's becoming more positive. And so when we say changing the perception of aging, there needs to be a second part of that that says, from the negative, the helplessness, the hopelessness, and the isolation, to the excitement, the positive, the hopefulness, the involvement, and the inclusiveness. Of course, you can't get that in one tagline. So here we stick with changing the perception of aging. But I want all of your listeners to understand that we are aware that that's not quite enough, and to really fully appreciate what we are doing through all the programs that we have, from webinars to family inclusion to different types of programming, guided imagery, and the dementia aware competency evaluation. All the things across the board that we do are specifically for changing that perception of aging from one of negative thinking to one of viewing our elders as something positive.
Absolutely. And I like to, when I'm talking about the mission, I always talk about the ways that we change perception. So for family caregivers, for professional caregivers, when we do the virtual dementia tour for a civic organization, that starts to build a community that has a better understanding. And so it's a change for everyone. But I love to talk about the dreams because I think the dreams change the perception of aging for our elder dreamer. They see themselves differently because their dream is getting that attention. And so it isn't just what we all think about aging, although we're all doing it and we all have thoughts about it. It's about helping that elder see that they're a positive too.
It's interesting you say that, Gwyneth, because I've always been struck how after a dream comes true, many elders will say things like, wow, I didn't know I could still do that.
Yep.
You see, that says a whole lot right there. And for changing the perception of aging, I was very struck by a dream that we made come true years ago in an elder care community in I think it was South Georgia. But anyway, the gentleman who was on hospice just wanted to go fishing one more time. Now, that sounds like an easy thing to do, but when you've got someone who is in hospice care and, life expectancy is short, you have to be careful about transportation and, all of those kinds of things. But we got it worked out and we got some fishing rods donated and we revealed the dream to him and he was so excited. Well, unbeknownst to us, the activity professional in that nursing home contacted his son, even though the son never visited, and told him what was going to be happening and told him what time and asked him if he would try to come, that it would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So turns out that he was there. And I went up to him after it was over and he was with his father, had his arm around his father even, and asked him how he felt about the dream coming true. And the floodgates opened up. He said, I did not know that it wasn't horrible in here. I had all kinds of misperceptions about what it was like in a nursing home. And when Dad was put on hospice, I had in my mind that he was on his deathbed and nobody was, able to visit him. He said, I just, now here, that even if I just live on that one for the next 25 years,
yeah,
that's great because it turns out that the son began to visit and was there at his father's bedside when he passed away. Now, changing the perception of aging for the person whose dream comes true is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But when it changes the perception of the people around the dream, then that's the money shot. Because we get the volunteers, we get the staff. I can't tell you how many times a staff member would say, well, I didn't know he wanted to ride a roller coaster, or I didn't know he wanted to have a steak dinner. And it's not because they're mean, it's because we don't think to ask about that.
I love a lot of things about this organization, but one of the things that's really struck me, and I talk about it all the time when I am interviewed or if someone walks in the office just to talk to me, that everything we do here creates community around elders and elders or anyone living with dementia. The Virtual Dementia Tour and the education programs that we provide help people to see things from a different perspective, help to make it a more inclusive community, and creates a community around the older adults that are cared for, whether it's in the home or in a long-term care setting. And the dreams do that as well. And there's something about community well, we all know it's one of the spheres of wellness is that socialization. And unless we create that for many of our elders, it isn't.
Pardon me.
So I think that that is a huge change in perception, just creating community.
Interestingly enough, one of the founding principles of our organization is community. I believe that if people knew what our elders really wanted to do, and if we knew what people with dementia are really dealing with, we would change how our society is actually derived so that we would see seniors and elders at the forefront where they belong and include them in everything we do. I was at a big, huge corporation gig. And as the meeting was winding down, the head honcho said to the group, "Are there any questions?" And I said, "Where are these fabulous flower arrangements going to go?"
Mhm.
Now, Gwyneth, these were the kind of arrangements that were $1,000 a pop. I mean, they were huge. They had all kinds of different stuff in it. And the head honcho looked around at her staff and everybody kind of threw their hands up. And she said, "Well, we'll probably put it on different floors in the building." And I said, "Well, would you be willing to donate a few of them to a nursing home?" So that, you see, I'm trying to get the corporate America to remember that they're out there too.
Mhm.
And her response was, "Well, there are no nursing homes in Manhattan." And I said, "Okay," trying to remain professional. I said, "Okay, if I find one within like a 3 to 5 mile radius, would you be willing to donate a few of these?" And she had that kind of condescending look towards me, like, poor woman. And she said, "Sure, we would." So I got on the phone, and sure enough, there was a 500-bed nursing home 3 blocks from where this corporation was located. So I didn't go back to that lady because I could tell I'd really ripped her chain. So I went to one of her assistants and I said, "I just want to let you know that this is here. And if there's any way that the residents would absolutely have a fit over some of these arrangements." And this is a really tall, apparently, elder care community. And she said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And sure enough, a couple of hours later, I was there for a thing. A couple of hours later, I saw those huge arrangements on trolleys being taken out of the building. So, that's the peanut we push up the hill with our nose at Second Wind, trying to get the community to pay attention to the needs of our elders. And it's getting better. I'm hearing about weddings where once the wedding is over with, they take the flowers and donate them to an elder care community, assisted living or nursing home. And you see that's all it just means, paying attention to these people who are hidden and forgotten.
That's lovely.
It was fun.
And that's important too.
Yes.
Well, PK, thank you so much for spending time with us and for doing this interview for Second Wind Dreams Month. And we will have you as a guest again before the end of this year. I'd like to close out our 25th anniversary with another interview with you.
Oh, it would be my honor. Thank you so much, Gwyneth. And thank you for everything that you're doing for Second Wind Dreams.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching another episode of Let's Talk Aging. We will be back in no time with our next episode. We have been doing lots of live events at our Roswell office. So please check out our website. We have virtual dementia tours that are happening here, but we also have education night, and we are focusing on partners, but we will also talk about one of our own programs coming up very soon. So check out the website, www.secondwind.org.